Okay, hello everyone. So in this video, let's talk about the photophase rearrangement. This is one of the major important rearrangement mechanisms in photochemistry, right? Now we have talked a lot about the photochemistry in our last videos. I will put the link here for our playlist. You can go through our playlist and see whether if there are any particular videos that you might be interested in. So you can watch it and gain something from these videos. Now in this video, I will explain to you about this mechanism based on this particular example, right? Here let me take a color. Okay, now this is a phenyl ester. Now what happens here is this is a radical mechanism. So this is the bond where the reaction would start to happen, right? So this bond will be broken into two radicals like this. So we have the two radicals as this is one radical and the other radical would be like this. And the next step, right? So next step, the irradiation would happen on this particular bond, right? So this bond will be broken into two consecutive parts. So here like this, two radicals will be formed again. Now this radical here, right? Here, this radical here, this electron, this will join with this radical to form a bond between this carbon and this carbon. So the final product would be like this. And we have here this one and a radical here. So there's a hydrogen here too, and there are two bonds in these places. Now you can see that this ring structure here, this ring, it's not aromatic, right? So next step would be the regaining of this aromaticity to get it much more stabilized form. Now this hydrogen would be shifted into this position. So what happens is this bond will be broken back like this to form a bond here, and this one will go here to form a bond within this bond. So this hydrogen basically go here to form a bond between this oxygen. Now that would result in this particular structure. So if you change the directions, right? So if you move this one to this place, you will get the same structure like this. Now this irradiation, right? This irradiation can happen on either of these bonds, right? So in this case I have used this bond, but in some cases it can be this bond. So in that case, if the irradiation happens on this particular position, right, in this particular position, this segment, this radical segment will come and bind to this position. If it happens on this kind of bond, then this radical will come and attach to this particular position. So the position where this radical comes and bind will based on the bond you have selected for the irradiation. So this is the overall reaction mechanism. I hope you get it. So now let's talk about a few examples where we use this particular application, right? Okay, now let's look at this particular reaction, right? So this is the initial product, initial compound we have, and this is the final product. So we have to propose a particular mechanism to go from here to here. Now for convenience, let me number in these carbons, right? So here this is the 1 2 3 4 5 6. So again, if I number it again in here, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Okay, so now let's move on with the reaction mechanism. Okay, now what happens here is, as the first step, this particular bond between the carbon and the nitrogen, this will broken. So one electron will go here to form a radical and the other one will go here to form a radical. Now we have two radicals, okay, just like this. We have nitrogen over here and the same carbon chain, and here we have the radical and here we have a radical. So the bonds are the same. Now in the next step, right, in the next step what happens is this bond over here, this will get involved in our reaction. So one electron will come over here which will join with this electron to form a double bond between the nitrogen and carbon. So when this bond is getting broken, you will see that another one electron is left behind. So that electron, okay, that electron will form a new bond between this carbon and this carbon. So this is the other electron. That electron will come together to form a new bond with along with this particular radical. Now we have the structure like, so we have these two bonds, and we have a double bond here with nitrogen, and here 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have formed the new bond here. Sorry about the structure, like I know it's ugly, but let's go with the concept here, right? And now the next step is to regain the aromaticity of this carbon ring, right? So you know that there's a hydrogen over here. There's a hydrogen over here. So a rearrangement will occur. Let me take another color to explain itself. Here, this bond will be broken, and one electron will come here to form a bond with a one electron from this bond. And the other electron here will come over here to form a new bond with one electron from this bond. And the other one will go here, and one will come from here. The other will go to nitrogen. So the other one is here. Now you will see that two radicals are being released. One is the hydrogen radical, and the other one is the radical which is formed on the nitrogen. So these two radicals can come together to form the final structure. So I will not draw the final structure. Let me draw it again. So this is the final structure we had. Now we have a bond here, and we have a bond here. Here we have a nitrogen, and we have a radical here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need another carbon. Let's take 5 and 6. Oh no, I just 5 and 6. Okay, this is the structure. Now we have two radicals. Okay, we have two radicals. One radical is on the nitrogen, and the other radical is on the hydrogen. So these two can come together to form a bond between the nitrogen and hydrogen, so which resulting in our targeted product. So this is our product. Now I hope you get the idea, right? So it's basically the same thing as happened over here. Only difference is the environment and the structure and the arrangements, right? That's the main difference. So if let's do some examples and see, like I will upload another video which more focused about the examples and tutorials about these rearrangements and mechanism. So we will do some questions and examples to see whether how to identify the particular positions, how to draw the particular reaction mechanism from the scratch. Then I'm pretty sure you will be familiar with this. So for now, I hope you get the idea, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I will try my best to answer your questions.